Hello, Phoenix Union students, staff, and community. I want to start by thanking each and every one of you, and not only for your commitment to Phoenix Union, but also your trust in our leadership during very challenging times. As you are fully aware by now, there is a coronavirus outbreak that has caused great fear and anxiety and concern, not just here in Phoenix, but all across the globe. Today in this video, I want to highlight three areas. First, we will spend some time discussing decisions that have already been made and steps that have already been taken as a precaution for our community. Second, I want to share a little bit of insight into plans that are being developed in the event that we must close schools or the district for one or more days. And then finally, just want to highlight some areas that we are currently considering and discussing as an executive team. I want to start with highlighting decisions that have already been made and actions that have already been taken. Starting with a deep cleaning and disinfecting over spring break, we made a commitment to our community that we would clean all of our facilities, all of our campuses, and all of our buses in preparation for Monday, the 16th of March. That has already taken place. Over the last couple of days, we made a decision to suspend all out-of-state and international travel. We released a statement earlier this week that read in part that we are highly supportive of travel for clubs, sports, activities, professional development, but that we are no longer at a place where we can predict or control closures, cancellations, and quarantines that take place out of our state. And so for the safety and well-being of our staff and students, we've stopped all travel out of Arizona. We also made a decision later this week that all in-state travel will be dramatically limited as well. In-state travel to very small events like sporting events, which I'll talk about here in a moment, will be able to continue for now, but events and travel to larger venues like museums and big auditoriums and movie theaters where there could be up to 100, 200, 300 people. We are also suspending that travel. We will revisit this every couple of weeks to determine if and when it is safe for our staff and students to continue with travel out of the city, out of the state, and potentially even out of the country. We've also made a decision to require all staff members to disclose any out-of-state and out-of-country travel. Originally, the decision was just to disclose out-of-country travel, but now, because of the widespread outbreak in certain states across our country, we are now requiring all staff members to disclose travels over the spring break, over weekends, and that will help us determine whether or not we feel certain individuals must remain in their home for up to 2 weeks for a quarantine so that we can be certain that no coronavirus has been brought back from other regions in our state and, again, our country. We also made a decision a couple of weeks ago to order an abundance of supplies, disinfectant wipes, hand sanitizers, tissues, Kleenex, etc. We wanted to make sure that we had a great stock of supplies that could run out in our state and in our country over the next couple of months. So rest assured, those have been ordered, shipped, and are on campuses already. We have also made a decision to suspend and cancel all events inside of Phoenix Union that are likely to have 100 or more people. We do not want to accidentally infect large groups of people at the same time. And we are currently working with administrators and leaders within our district so that they can better understand the technology that we have at our fingertips to host virtual meetings in place of these large events. This, of course, includes staff meetings, assemblies, and other large gatherings. That also includes sports. We have made a decision at this point not to cancel sporting events, but much like we've seen with NCAA and other large sporting associations across our country, we will not allow spectators at our sports for the time being. If and when this changes, we will surely notify our community. And then finally, our team is looking through all facility usage and facility rentals that may be taking place from outside organizations. You may be aware that many individuals, churches, groups, sporting associations use Phoenix Union facilities and we are currently going through that list to determine which of those should be canceled and might actually move to a place where all non-Phoenix Union facility usage is canceled for the time being. Information forthcoming with facility usage. Next, I want to spend some time talking about plans that are being developed in the event that we need to close a school or schools, or even the entire district. And we are talking about closures of 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, even potentially for the rest of the school year if necessary. The first plan that is being developed is a plan that allows us to keep critical systems moving at all times. We need to make sure that our technology, our facilities, our payroll, and many of our processes continue through a closure. And so those plans are being developed, and we will soon go public with what those critical services will be. We also have spent time inventorying all laptops and devices all across our system. That inventory is done. We may find ourselves in a position where we need to move toward online learning and would then need to be able to distribute laptops and devices to our students. We would begin with seniors, so that seniors can hit graduation requirements by the end of the year, and then continue to roll that down to underclassmen. Our teaching and learning division has been meeting throughout the entire break and are developing a professional development plan so that we can train all certified staff in our virtual platform, again, in the event that we need to push all of our learning online in the coming weeks. We are also making a list of all essential and non-essential meetings and events that are taking place and plan to take place for the month of March, April, and May. That also includes summer school in June. And we will soon make decisions on which events are canceled or postponed and which ones can continue. Again, we're working with not just here at the district, but all sites to make that comprehensive list, again, of essential and non-essential meetings. Our Talent Human Resource Division is also working on a very clear return to work or return to school policy and protocol. We have individuals who are not only traveling across the city, across the country, and even out of the country, as we mentioned before. Inevitably, we will have individuals who fall ill, and we'll have individuals who contract the coronavirus. And so we want to be very clear with what a return to work and school protocol looks like, and we will go public soon with those procedures. We also know that Phoenix Union plays a critical role in support for our families and our communities. And so if we find ourselves in a position where we must close schools or the district, we will keep some, if not all of our schools open as resource centers for our community. We've had to do this in the past. We know that families still need to come, sometimes get access to technology, need to have questions answered, need access to support within the community, food, clothing, et cetera. And so our schools will remain open in some form or other as resource centers. And then I mentioned food. That's one of the most critical services that we offer our community. Almost 90% of our students qualify for free and reduced lunch. And so throughout any closure, Phoenix Union will continue to provide food, breakfast and lunch to our community. And that will happen in one of a couple of ways. One, our schools as resource centers, as I mentioned, but we are also working closely with our transportation department. And we plan to turn our buses into food delivery vehicles. And it's our way of getting food out into the community. Of course, we won't be able to go to individual homes, but would be able to pick locations and community centers throughout the valley to make sure that our students have access to food and nutrition throughout any school closure. And finally, I want to spend some time talking about other areas of consideration. Unfortunately, we are in the time of year where students are expected to take several exams from ACT, AP, IB, Ames Science, AZ Merit, and of course exams and so on. We know this is a very challenging time of year to close school, and so our teaching and learning and our technology departments are working hand in hand to determine how we would address each and every one of those critical exams. We have also been meeting with our Exceptional Student Services Division because we want to make sure that every single one of our students, all 30,000 students, but especially some of our students with special needs. We want to make sure that we are providing the right resources and services to our students in the event of a closure. And so if you are a family member or an employee or a student in our system who works within the ESS department, please know that behind the scenes, we are creating plans to support learners of all levels and abilities. We also know that this is the time of year where Phoenix Union hosts job fairs. We know that we also host career fairs and other large CTE competitions and gatherings for students, prospective employees. And so our teams are also working on plans for what we might do or should do with those events that would bring large groups of people into one area. We also know that we have PLCs and late starts where teachers travel all throughout the district to gather to talk about curriculum and assessment and learning. Still very critical during these challenging times, but we also want to make sure that we're making the right decision when it comes to these smaller gatherings, not just events over 100, but are there gatherings and meetings that take place inside of our district that are better off happening virtually? And so plans are forthcoming in those areas as well. We also know as a high school district how important prom and graduation ceremonies are. We also know that the health and wellness of our employees and our staff, students are critically important. So we have made a list of all proms, graduation ceremonies, and are currently discussing the possibility of suspending or even canceling some of those events, and also talking about alternatives to prom, alternative solutions to graduation ceremonies. We know that graduations and proms bring together hundreds, sometimes thousands of people in one location. And so our team is currently considering alternatives to those very important events here in Phoenix Union. I want to end by thanking you for taking time to watch this video address. I'm also very grateful, as I said at the beginning, for your commitment to Phoenix Union, but also for your trust in our leadership as we make very critical decisions that we know impact tens of thousands of lives. We have nearly 4,000 employees, nearly 30,000 students, 50 to 100,000 family and community members that we serve. And please know that your well-being, your safety, your health will always sit at the forefront of every decision that we make in the coming days, weeks, and months. Please know that we are following CDC guidelines, working very closely with local government, state government, and federal government to make sure that every decision that we make is not a unilateral decision here in Phoenix Union, but is following what the experts tell us and the guidelines that are set forth, not just at a national level, but even at a global level. Also, we encourage you to visit our website for daily updates. We are committed moving forward to sending at least one update every day through the duration of this challenging time with the coronavirus. Our website is phoenixunion.org. The specific website for coronavirus information is phoenixunion.org/coronavirusinfo. We also have an email address for our broader community, internal community, as well as external community, which is coronavirusinfo@phoenixunion.org. If you have any questions, concerns, tips, recommendations, we are happy to entertain all of those. We have individuals from several departments that are monitoring that email every single day. Please know that as we film this message on Thursday, March 12th, that information and decision is ever changing. Decisions that we've made today may in fact change tomorrow. So we appreciate and thank you for your patience in advance. But again, rest assured that our teams are working nearly around the clock to make sure that we are making the right decisions for our stakeholders. And finally, just want to remind each and every one of us that we play critical roles as individuals in keeping our schools and our communities healthy. Please follow all the guidelines that we read around hand washing, avoiding contact, staying home if you are sick. If you have any questions about what you individually can do to keep yourself healthy, again, we have all that information on our website, phoenixunion.org/coronavirusinfo. Once again, I want to thank you for watching this video address. Stay healthy, stay informed, and I hope to see many of you around campus and around the community in the coming days and weeks.